Hey, welcome to Building Stronger Men, and I am Dracon, your cool uncle, the alpha male, the man that wants to have those conversations that you can only have inside your living room, one-on-one with someone you trust. First off, all praise to the Most High God, and I want to thank you guys for listening today. Thank you guys for being with us. Our topic today is drinking, drunkenness, all one and the same. Is it okay? When is it okay? What does the Bible say about it? How does it apply to your personal life? We have a lot to cover. It's probably going to be 2 videos worth. So I'm going to make this a part 1 and then probably end up having a part 2 to finish it off if you're interested. But let's cover first and foremost. Let's jump into it. Let's cover first and foremost the pros, what the Bible seems to say, good about drinking. First of all, a couple disclaimers. Number one, you have to be aware, with the Bible that it does use wine, alcoholic and non-alcoholic interchangeably. So there are some verses that is speaking about non-alcoholic, and then other verses it's speaking about alcoholic beverage. And also, with anything that has to do with God, you want a good understanding. You want the clear verses to be clear, and the verses that are not as clear, those are the ones that you want to kind of use the clear ones to interpret. First and foremost, we know that as men, and as men of God, we know that getting drunk is wrong, period. First and foremost, if you're getting drunk, it's wrong. You're tripping. All right, so let's jump into it. Pros. The first thing that most people cite or they say when I ask them or talk to them about drinking is they cite John, where Jesus turns water into wine. I believe that's John chapter 2, verse 3 to 11 or something like that. So Jesus turns water into wine, and most people say, well, that's a good thing. Okay. Jesus created wine. Yeah, of course he did. Jesus also created food, but he warns us not to be a glutton. And that's something I struggle with. You're not glorifying him when you're overeating and you're getting so fat that you can't even move. So, Jesus creating it doesn't mean that we are to abuse it, overuse it. You know what I mean? Then let's jump to 1 Timothy 5:23. And in that verse, Paul tells Timothy to use a little bit of wine for your stomach's sake. Let's read exactly what it says. It says, stop drinking only water, but use a little wine because of your stomach and your frequent illnesses. First of all, what was going on back then, they didn't have a great water purification system. And obviously Timothy had an illness. So Paul, being older in Christ, is just giving him some wisdom. I have older men that give me wisdom. Oh man, Dre, you should take care of yourself. Stop eating so much. Stop drinking so much soda. So Paul was giving him some wisdom and trying to let him know that, hey, you have a stomach problem, and it may be the water in Ephesus. It may be that unpurified, tainted water, of the ancient cities. So that's not a go ahead and get drunk. No, use a little bit of wine, maybe to help purify the water or to help settle your stomach because you have stomach issues. So, let's not get carried away with that. All right. Let's jump into another one. Psalms 104, verse 14 and 15. So Psalms 104 verse 14 and 15 says, "You cause the grass to grow for the livestock and plants for man to cultivate, that he may bring forth food from the earth, and wine to gladden the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen man's heart." So, at least to me, what is stating there is the things that God created and what it does. Each of the things, what it does. First of all, it says oil to make his face shine. Well, that's second of all. And bread to strengthen his heart. Food strengthens us, in this. Oil makes your face shine, and that's what it does. And wine to gladden the heart of man. So right there, wine does make one glad. Wine does make one merry. That's true. Right there, there's no giving us the go-ahead to drink as much as we want. And it also says wine. It's not talking about, it's not even giving like strong alcohol, But I think Christians should have the freedom to drink responsibly and sparingly. But I definitely think so, because wine makes the heart glad. It does. It does. But if you need that to make you happy, that's a problem. Technically, aspirin make pain go away. Technically it does, but you don't want to abuse aspirin. You mess up your kidneys and liver and all that good stuff. All right, so into our fourth verse, that it seems to be pro, alcohol or pro drinking. Let's jump into it. It is Isaiah 62, verse 8 through 9. That's funny. I'm actually reading the book of Isaiah right now. "The Lord has sworn by his right hand and by his mighty arm, I will not again give your grain to be food for your enemies, and foreigners shall not drink your wine for which you have labored. For those who garner it shall eat it and praise the Lord, and those who gather it shall drink it in the courts of my sanctuary." Now, again, so hard to know if what he's talking about. I think this one here could be a case for non-alcoholic wine, simply grape juice, but this is a vow that it seems that God is making to the people, that he will, not again allow others to capture them or trample on them. Never again I will give your grain as food to your enemies, and never again will foreigners drink the new wine for which you have toiled. And basically those things are going to be yours. It's not going to be other people. It's not going to be a foreign nation who does it. So that's kind of the aim of that verse. But, again, I could see how one would think, okay, yeah, it's okay to drink. But again, drink, but there's no abuse. There's no abuse. There's no overdoing it. And I just want to say something, as we switch to the cons, or the verses that are many, like 10 or 11 of them, that are against drinking and drunkenness. I just want to say, we live in a land of laws, and we must respect those laws. And at least here where we live in America, you're drunk at a certain point, which I think is 0.08. So we know that as a Christian, we have to follow those laws. As men, even, we have to follow those laws. As citizens, we have to follow those laws. So if you're getting drunk, that's a problem, And then if you're driving, whether it's buzzed, that's a problem. All right, so let's jump into the cons. All right, first of all, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 3. "For the time that is past suffices for doing what the Gentiles want to do, living in sensuality, passions, drunkenness, orgies, drinking parties, and lawless idolatry." Yes, that time has passed for doing what he says the Gentiles want to do, or the evil, godless people in another version. You know, you have had enough in the past of doing the evil things that godless people enjoy. Their immorality and lust, their feasting and drunkenness and wild parties, and their terrible worship of idols. These are all things that God hates. These need to not even be named among you as the people of God. And as men, why would you want to continue that? Why would you want to continue that? You want to do things that are decent and in order, things that help and build you up. Okay. All right. So now we're going to jump to Ephesians 5:18. And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. You hear that? And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. God is giving you something in place. Be filled with the Spirit. Be focused on that. Don't be filled with wine. Don't be filled with alcoholic. This isn't talking about grape juice now, because you ain't going to get drunk on, regular grape juice, unfermented grape juice. This is wine. This is alcoholic. And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. All right. Next one. We are going to Proverbs 23:31. It says, do not look at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. And I feel that way, like, about food and about gluttony. Oftentimes we get mesmerized by the thing that we want to do, whether it's that girl you're looking at and you just keep looking at her and your mind keeps thinking about her. Before you know it, you're trying to do something about that. And here it seems to be the same with wine. It says, do not look at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. So this person is getting mesmerized by wine. He's getting mesmerized by drinks. Have you been there? Where you're just sitting back and you're sipping and you're just enjoying it and looking at it and enjoying it. And it's just taking over your spirit and soul. And before you know it, man, you're drinking it and you're drinking maybe too much of it. That's getting mesmerized by it, brothers. All right. Proverbs 20:1. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Again, wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Do you hear that, brothers? How many fights have started because people are getting drunk and misunderstandings happen? How many nights have been ruined because of drunk brawls? Because of people mocking and acting stupid. Nobody acts more stupid than when they're getting drunk. I've personally witnessed that. So that was another verse in Proverbs. All right, let's go to Romans 13:13. It says, let us walk properly as in the daytime, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in sexual immorality and sensuality, not in quarreling or jealousy. So these things should not be named among you as men of God. These aren't wise things. Orgies, getting drunkenness, sexual immorality, sensuality, quarreling, and jealousy. And I'm sure wine brings about a lot of those things. I'm sure they do. I'm sure wine brings about a lot of those things. And the Bible here again is warning you. That's just a little bit. I'm going to come back with a part 2. Hope you'll join me. And we're gonna dive more into it. I'm going to really start asking you some questions. We're just laying the foundation of where we want to go. I'm going to start asking you some questions. I'm going to start seeing and really trying to see where you're at and tell you a little bit about my experiences, which aren't much. So join me again for part 2. As always, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, Act like men, be strong, and let all that you do be done in love. Like, comment, subscribe. Join me for part 2. This is Dracon signing off.